The Rebound Kansas City is our commitment to help you recover from the COVID-19 pandemic.
And we know right now can be really tough on us from a mental standpoint. So 41 Action News reporter Dan Cohen talked to some mental health experts about this. Dan, a lot is going on in the country right now that everyone just feels the weight of on a regular basis. Yeah. How is that affecting our mental health?
Taylor and Lindsay, a popular phrase that I've heard over the last few days is the perfect storm when it comes to our mental health. The pandemic, protests across the country as the country talks about race, and here in Kansas City as well, a rise in crime this year, and it's weighing on us in terms of our mental health. Comprehensive Mental Health Services is part of the Metro Council. It's an umbrella organization that covers behavioral mental health facilities here in the Kansas City area. And the professional that I spoke to says that mental health trends in the African American community specifically are rising to the surface following weeks of protests around the country.
In the last 20 years, the suicide attempts by Black adolescents have increased 73% in the last 20 years. And then the injuries from suicide attempts for Black boys alone has increased 122%. Another one that's just staggering for Black youth under the age of 13 were twice as likely to die by suicide than their white counterparts. So those are just staggering numbers. It's something we need to be paying attention to. There is something that needs to be addressed.
Those numbers are from a report that was released in December to the Congressional Black Caucus, and we have that full report available on our website, kshb.com. Taylor and Lindsay, Julie Pratt said that conversations about mental health and race will require a community-wide effort, as she says that mental health is a public health concern.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, those are just devastating numbers you were talking about. That's a national report. Do we know how that translates to us here in Kansas City?
I don't know how those numbers translate here in Kansas City specifically, but what I can tell you is that Representative Emanuel Cleaver was on the task force for this report that was released to the Congressional Black Caucus. It was distributed in December of 2019, obviously just a few months before the pandemic began. And as we continue to talk about race in this country, a report like that just makes it an even more pressing concern that we need to talk about mental health and race together. This is a public concern, not just here in Kansas City, but across the country as well.
All right, Dan, thank you very much. If you need to talk to someone, we've put resources right here on your screen. They're broken out by the area where you live, so check that out. You can also find these and much more on our website, kshb.com.